Hello again, YouTube. It's been a little bit since I've updated. Haven't had much time to work on her. I got a rad temporary mounted, kind of Mickey Mouse, but it's not bolted on the bottom. I'm not sure if this rad will work or not. It's going to be a test, so I don't really want to weld a bunch of stuff on in case I got to cut it all off. That's a rad, I think, off of a Polaris ATV. Not 100% sure. But we'll give it a try. It's got the inlet and the outlet on the same side. So because of that, I ended up turning this fitting back this way again, running it down. Now my only problem is my inlet and outlet on the water pump is 1 inch and the rad was 3/4. So I've got adapters here. I'm kind of iffy on the adapters. I feel like it might be too much restriction, but we'll see how it goes. I got a bunch of zip ties and stuff holding this wiring up because I plan on test driving it pretty soon. So I just wanted to zip tie it so it's out of the way. Battery. I modified the battery box and made it bigger. So now it accepts a little bit bigger battery. For my testing purposes, I'm just threw this foot peg on and the rear brake back on, just because I need to be able to stop it. I am currently running no front brakes, as when I got the bike they were kind of locked on, so I got the brake pads pulled out of them. As for this side, for a foot peg, I might just rest my foot back on the passenger foot peg just for the test. I will figure something out, whether I put another foot peg out here extended or I do the front mount like I was talking for a while. Fuel system is done. Throttle is done. I need to find a air filter. Because I don't really want to run it without the filter, and then I got to figure out what I want to do. I might bring it out and just have the air filter sitting right here, or have it sitting right here. Yeah, I haven't fixed my sprocket issue yet, but I figure it's gonna hold up just for a test drive. But I am gonna have to get a proper sprocket somehow. There's the original one there, so I don't know, maybe I can weld it onto one of those collars. I just want to be able to replace it easily if needed and not have a ton of like fab work to do. All the wiring system in the bike, I was trying to get the key to work in the ignition, and this wiring system was so cobbled up, I decided that I am just gonna rip it all out and start over. So I still have all the signals and stuff, all the wiring for it sitting there. I'll just run new wiring. I'll run flasher relays. I just figure it'll be easier to start from scratch rather than sit for hours trying to figure out what the original wiring was, because it all plugged into plugs that were similar, so, and it wasn't really color coded very well. And I don't have a wiring diagram or a manual on the original bike, so I figure if I start from scratch, then it'll be the way I want it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I still got to replace this pill block before the test drive. I have picked up a new pill block. Yeah, so the wiring for the fuel pump I have sitting just here and here. This new battery, I haven't put the fluid in it yet, so I still gotta charge it up, but I will be running this right to it for the test, and then I will just run a ground wire like this to the chassis, and then the main power to the starter is right here, as well as the S terminal is right here. So when I go to start the bike for the test, I figured why bother hooking up all the wiring, because I'm just gonna have to redo it when I get an ignition system and stuff. So I have glow plugs right here, so I'll hook up the positive and the negative with just a set of jumper cables, and then I'll just touch it like that to get it cranked, and I'll hold this on at the start for glow plugs. So yeah, next video might be a test drive, but I gotta get it off this table. I finally was able to get a new nut for the spindle. Went to put it on, and the threads were kind of buggered on the spindle, so I sat there with a file rechasing the threads, and it seemed to go on okay. A little lube helped too. Trying to think of anything else. Not going to run a lot of fuel in the bike when I go to do the test run, just in case there's any problems, and I got to rip the tank off quick. But yeah, she's coming along. Stay tuned for the next video. I don't know if it'll be this week, but it might be the following week. Going up north this week, so probably won't be able to work on it. Anyway, till next time, YouTube.